Hi, my name is Mary Zabel and I'm an animal science student, and in this video we will be discussing 10 common questions on how to feed your cat or dog. Question 1. My dog is a high energy working dog. What is the most ideal diet for him? For most dogs, even if they are really hyper and hardworking, most dog food will complete all of their nutrient requirements. However, if you do want to support their energy and help with maintaining a heavier body weight, you want to feed them a diet that is rich in fat and high quality protein. If you have a dog that's working for long hours, that high protein is going to help with muscle repair. However, if you have a dog that's doing more sprint-based work, then carbohydrates are going to be their main source of energy. If you're worried about feeding your dog too much protein, that protein will usually just go to fat, and then the nitrogen will just be excreted in the urine. You want to be careful with this, especially if your dog already suffers with problems with his kidney, or if there's any other existing health issue. Question number 2. If liver is so high in vitamins and minerals, why shouldn't it be the first thing I look for in dog food? Should I supplement it in? This is completely up to your personal preference if you're looking for organ meat in your dog food. If it has an AFCO statement label on your pet's dog food, it really doesn't matter if it has it or not. The nutrient requirements will be the same. The only thing you have to worry about is if you're feeding liver directly, you can cause a vitamin A toxicity. This can cause deformities, joint pains, and digestive issues. Typically, if you're feeding liver, it should only be 5 to 10% of your dog's diet. Question number 3. My cat has a hard time eating ad libitum. Does it wear on my cat's GI tract if I give them a high insoluble fiber food? If your cat has a problem eating a little bit during the day and you are feeding them that higher fiber food, you want to make sure that cat is a little bit overweight, because that will be just passing through his GI tract and not adding to it or giving him any nutritional needs. It's important that that fiber doesn't displace any essential nutrients. You have to remember that cats are obligate carnivores, so they do need a high percentage of protein in their diet. You just want to talk to your vet to make sure that cat is still reaching all of its nutrient requirements while slimming off. Question number 4. We live in England and my dog lives in our house, so he doesn't get a lot of sun. Should I be supplementing with vitamin D? If you're feeding your dog a food that is commercially sold, then this shouldn't be a problem, because they do put enough vitamin D in there to meet your dog's requirement. However, if he is showing any signs of vitamin D deficiency, then that's when you should start supplementing it. Examples of this could be weakness or lethargy, bone pain or joint pain. Muscle tremors or spasms are common too, as well as weight loss. Question number 5. I have a Great Dane puppy. Shouldn't I be feeding him a very large amount of food for his growth? To most people, it may seem logical if you have a dog that's growing very fast to feed him large amounts of food. However, you do not want to feed them over the required dose or whatever it says on your bag of food for puppies. Feeding them too much food can lead to bone issues later in life, really anything under the orthopedic diseases. Question number 6. I make my own dog food. How do I make sure he gets DHA? For those who don't know, DHA is short for docosahexaenoic acid, which is an omega-3 fatty acid. This is mostly important in puppies as it plays a role in development, especially for retaining memory. It's also very important for dogs' nervous systems. Supplementing this is actually really easy. A few examples of this is fish oil, algae oil, or fatty acid fish such as salmon. Question 7. I keep my dog food in a bin. Is that bad? Storing dog food in a bin is not bad. The only thing you need to be concerned about is oxidation. However, if you have a small bag of food and you're feeding it quite quickly, or your dog requires more amount of food to eat, then this isn't much of a concern. Your dog food's going to be open anyway. Things that might affect oxidation to a bag of dog food is really 3 big things: moisture, light, and air. Oxidation is also concerned if you have a bag of dog food around for too long. Then most of those nutrients will oxidize, which means they will go bad. Essentially, they won't serve the purpose that they didn't intend initially. Question 8. Is egg yolk bad for my dog? Egg yolk in itself is not bad for your dog. It does have a lot of vitamins, including A, D, and E, and B12. This can be really good for skin and brain health. However, you don't want to feed too much of this, as there's concern for salmonella. And if you have the egg white in there, you can have a biotin deficiency. The biotin deficiency is basically just the protein in the egg white, which is called avidin. And then avidin will bind to any biotin in the body, preventing absorption. If you want to avoid all of these concerns together, the best thing to do is just cook the egg and feed it to your dog. Question 9. Would it help if I put electrolytes in my dog's water? The only time you really want to be putting electrolytes in your dog's water is to support hydration recovery. You do not want to be doing this on a normal basis because your dog will be getting those nutrients that it needs, and so you will just be exceeding those nutrients, and if you go too far, this can lead to toxicities. You really want to avoid feeding any kind of human electrolyte, especially any drinks. There is a sweetener in most of these called xylitol, and this is very, very toxic for dogs, almost even more than chocolate. The reason why this is toxic for dogs is it causes a drop in blood sugar called hypoglycemia, and it can lead to liver failure. Question 10. If I have a high energy dog and she eats the cat food sometimes, isn't that not necessarily a bad thing because cat food is high in protein? While it is true that cat food is really high in protein, it does have a lot of higher levels of taurine, vitamin A, and fat. This is not good for your dog in high amounts. A little bit here and there is not going to hurt. Too much of this can lead to digestive upset, pancreatitis, and nutrient imbalances in the dogs. Thank you. Hope you liked it.